All right, and we're live. Hello, everybody. 1 minute till class, so feel free to just hang out there for a second. Mm-hmm. Okay, there we go. So I'm still on my other microphone there. Let me make sure that that's coming through before I go on. Okay, let's see if we can get the big mic working here. All right. I am now reading the big mic as. All right, let's just run that mic. It's not bad. Hold on with that for now. We'll do this guy later. I think they're both about the same. All right, welcome to 435. This is the Networks and Cybersecurity online class. So if you're here, then you have figured out how to get here, which is through the Discord. For everybody else, just today, I'm going to post it to Canvas here. Most days, probably not going to post it to Canvas, but just to make sure that any of the stragglers who didn't read any announcements are going to get it, I'm going to make one last announcement on Canvas here. All right. Just simple, straightforward. Okay. So hopefully everybody else joins up with us there. Feel free to also go into one of the Discord channels and talk amongst each other while the lecture is going. I don't have any problem with that. It's a pretty unique opportunity for you guys since normally you just have to sit there and be quiet. But hey, you get to talk to one another or whatever. I do wonder what that sounded like. I'm gonna go back and watch the recording. That was probably pretty terrible. That was me turning on the webcam. So that would be the experience all the time if I was using the webcam microphone. It'd just be nonstop or whatever it sounded like for you. All right, we have 25 viewers. That's pretty much the whole class. I think we're missing like 4, so let's go ahead and continue here. All right, we're going to start the syllabus walkthrough. Let's see, I'm going to run this in a window, make it easier for me to see. Okay, again, this is 435 Networks and Cybersecurity. You'll notice it has a combined name. It's Networks and Cybersecurity. Usually those are two different classes. Usually there's a Networks class and a Cybersecurities class. But the way we have our electives set up here at JCU, I can't uh, I can't require an elective as a prereq for something else. So I thought, all right, I'm going to combine these two things, and it's just going to be a high-level summary of everything you need to know to get up to speed to be competent in networks. And then we're going to go through some of the cybersecurity stuff that only touches on networks. So we also have a different cybersecurity class that a couple of you have taken before. That one's more general. It's got a lot of different topics. Here we're only going to be talking about networked applications. Okay, but this is basically a hybrid class. That doesn't mean we're covering twice as much material, but it means we're covering a lot of material and we're not going too deep into any of it. So for those of you who haven't had me before, I'm Dr. Gurari. You pronounce it like with a G, the word Ferrari, so like the car company. They got an F there, Ferrari. Just replace that with a G, you get Gurari. That's me. All right. So before we really get going in earnest, I am going to say a couple things. Number one, I was raised on what you would call the old internet. You know, the internet hate machine. That is that the internet is not a place to be nice to people. And so I swear like a sailor at the bare minimum. And hopefully I'm not too mean to anybody. I really don't mean to offend anybody. I don't want to be mean to anybody. It's just jokes, but you know, the internet is for trolls, and I firmly believe that for most of my life. This is probably the first time I've been nice to people on the internet for what's going to be probably 16 weeks here, right? So this is my longest stretch being nice on the internet at one time. I do apologize if I slip up and make some off-color jokes or what have you, but you know, just bear with me, please. Be a little patient. And then the other disclaimer is that I think everybody probably has this idea that online classes are supposed to be a little bit easier than real classes. I think broadly speaking, that's true. I mean, I definitely had some online classes and they were kind of a snooze. But this will be a normal class, in my opinion, with a normal amount of work. It's not like I'm going to give you less to do just because it's online. Also not going to give you more to do. I'm not going to expect you to just learn everything on your own. I think we have real lectures here. I'm going to be talking for the amount of time I would usually talk. You're going to get the opportunity to ask questions. We've got office hours. We've got all these different things. So I expect that you're going to learn some things. And it is possible to fail. I don't mean that a lot of people are going to fail. I mean, it's likely you'll fail. In an elective like this, I try not to fail anybody. I hope everybody does well. I try to make it pretty easy. But it's possible if you just don't show up to any of the lectures, if you don't turn anything in, if all you do is like watch the live stream at 2x speed and then turn in like a tenth of the homework every week, it is possible to fail. So give it the amount of effort that you would give a normal class. Pretend it is a normal class, and you're going to have a good time. So obviously, if you're here, you know that lectures are going to be delivered via YouTube Live. It actually occurred to me when I was writing the slide yesterday. I was like, how are they going to know? How are they going to see this slide if they didn't already make it to YouTube? But I decided to just leave it in there anyway. So subscribe to the channel that you're on right now. It's also at the top of the syllabus. You can check the syllabus in the Canvas files right now. You can open that up there, the syllabus PDF. It also follows along with the slideshow, so if you want to just scroll through the syllabus as we're going here, that might help you out. I'll probably open it up here too in another window. Here it is there. Okay, and there you've got the YouTube channel and this Discord at the top. Okay, so I'm also going to post the streams to Discord when they start. I'll probably do that initially, and then once everybody gets the hang of it, I'll probably stop. It looks like everybody's already coming in here anyway. If you have the YouTube channel bookmarked and you know when class starts, it shouldn't be a problem for you to just get right in there. And now, why do we have Discord when we also have YouTube? Someone asked, where's the Patreon link? First of all, if you know anything about YouTube, you know that you beg for donations at the end, not at the beginning. All right, so that's coming at the end. I'm going to have to ask you to like, subscribe, and donate to my PayPal, but not right now. So class chat will happen either on Discord chat or on YouTube chat. I see a lot of people favor YouTube chat. That happened when I was doing the test streams as well. It is right there, which I understand, but it's also public and it's subject to chat trolls or whatever else happens. And all the wonderful people of YouTube, and by wonderful, you know, I mean horrible, are going to be able to see your chat. So anything that you put in the YouTube chat, realize that's going to the general public. I'm not privating any of these videos. If you want to ask a question that's not going out to the horrible world of YouTube, then ask it on Discord. The other thing is Discord's more persistent. If you ask a question in the YouTube live stream and I answer it, then it just scrolls away and it's gone forever. And the only way someone can find your question again is if they go back to that video and look at the live chat replay, which is kind of inconvenient. So if you have like a good question, like a question about material, please ask that on Discord so that I can answer it on Discord, and then we'll have like a record for other people to look at. All right, so if you're uncomfortable or you just have a substantive question, if you have a quick offhand thing, by all means ask it there. And I do have both of these open. I have Discord and I have YouTube Live open at the same time, so I'll see both sets of questions. And yeah, the internet is for trolls, definitely. That's from the live chat. All right, assignments will come through Canvas. I will sometimes post just the summary of the assignment on YouTube, just so the whole class can kind of be public. I want to make it available on the internet just in general, so I'll just post like a PDF of the assignment up on YouTube. But the actual one that you guys have to follow is the one that's on Canvas. I don't think there will be a difference or anything, but the one on Canvas will have a due date, obviously. And if I do make any changes, I might not propagate them through to the one that I upload to the YouTube video just because it's too much work for me. So just make sure you look at the one on Canvas, watch the due dates, turn it in on time, and do make sure that you are in Discord the whole time the class is going. So to contact me, you can always email me. Email is the best way to contact me because I check my email a lot. I'll always answer you within the same day. I'm available pretty much the whole day outside of office hours. As some of you know, I have a newborn, so, well, she's not newborn anymore. She's 10 months old. But I keep ridiculous hours. I'll be awake at 5 in the morning, 10 in the morning, whatever. It doesn't matter. You never know when you're going to get me. So, if I'm not responding to you, it's probably because I'm asleep, and don't expect me not to respond to you just because it's 3 in the morning. Go ahead and send me your code or writing samples or whatever you need me to look at. The nice thing about email is that I can read them and I'll respond to you back with snippets of code or writing that you can actually use. And I put office hours in quotes for this slide because obviously I'm not going to be seeing you guys in my office. So I haven't tried this out yet. I feel like this is going to be a good system, but it might end up being bunk. I might toss this away. But for now, here's my idea. Those are the times there. Uh, what you do is you join the office hours text chat. If you see in Discord near the top, there's a channel called office-hours. That's the text chat. I'm going to put a message in there real quick so everybody knows what I'm talking about. It's going to be here. And that's all you need to do when you want to see me for office hours. So just go in that channel and type like here or whatever you want to, just any message. And then if I see people typing in that channel, I'm just going to DM them in the order that I see them. So I'll start a one-on-one call with you. And if I don't have anybody that I'm talking to at the moment, I'm going to hang out in that office hours waiting channel. So there's a voice channel called office hours waiting, and I'll just sit in there. Yeah, YouTube has like 12-second delay. That's a question from the live chat. YouTube has like 12 to 15-second delay, but that's kind of the price you pay to have the higher quality. It's all right. I'll double back around to questions. 12 seconds is not that long of a time. The only problem with the 12-second delay is that when I ask you guys questions like polls and stuff, you're going to get the question way before you actually hear it. But that's actually kind of cool because you kind of hear it at the same time that it pops up in the Discord, so I'm okay with it. And then I'm not physically going to be in my office at all this semester, so don't go look for me. It's at the top of the syllabus there, my location, everything, but I'm not going to be on campus. We're all going to be remote this time around. If I'm in that office hours voice channel and there's no one else there, just feel free to drop in. And then also, if you're waiting around for office hours and other people are waiting around, you guys can hang out in there together and maybe answer each other's questions. That could be helpful. Now I'm in Discord. All right. So sign up for Discord if you haven't already. I feel like I can probably skip this slide because it looks like I have everybody, but a couple things I want to point out. First, if you have Discord on your phone, that's fine. For a lot of people, your phone is your highest quality speaker. If you plan to use a webcam, I do recommend you use your phone because the webcams that you can buy for your computer are terrible. Just to buy a camera that kind of competes on the same level as the front cam on your phone, it's going to run you at least $150 to get a webcam like that. It's completely not worth it. Even if you get like an off-brand one from China, it's going to be 50 bucks or so just to compete with your phone. So I recommend if you're going to use a camera, you just use your phone. But if you're just doing audio, I recommend you get a headset. You can use a headset with your phone as well, or something like AirPods. But just talking into the phone on speaker or whatever is terrible for Discord. It just doesn't work. And then a lot of what we do on Discord is going to be typing and uploading and moving files. So I recommend that you have Discord on the computer that you're going to be doing the programming on. If you want to ask a question semi-anonymously, I say semi because I'm going to figure out your Discord names this semester. I'm not going to let you be completely anonymous because I'm going to either have some kind of point system or some kind of group system. And I need to group you by your real name. So I'll put an assignment up at Canvas at some point where you have to send me your Discord name. So I'll know who you are if you DM me. But you don't have to tell each other, so I guess you're semi-anonymous in that sense. If you want to ask a question on Discord, publicly as into the class, just put it in the general chat or wherever. If you want to ask just me, you can DM me on Discord. And feel free to post memes and do whatever else you want to do. I'm not moderating the Discord. I don't take responsibility for what happens there. I'll probably appoint a couple of you guys to be moderators. That'll just be to make sure that all the group channels are maintained and everybody has the permissions that they need in their particular group channel. So general rules, don't spam the Discord chat. I think that's pretty straightforward. Everybody hates spammers. I've been banning spammers since the Ventrilo TeamSpeak days. I have no tolerance for spammers. Don't be typing the same message repeatedly or whatever. If you have a lot of background noise, again, this has been a problem since the early days of voice chat on the internet. If you own 7 dogs, or you come from a family of 9 and everybody lives in one bedroom, just use push to talk, okay? Let's not hear all of what's happening in the background whenever you're talking to one another. It's annoying, and some people are too polite to point it out when it's happening, but it's annoying. Don't do that. Do feel free to have side conversations during lecture or whatever. If you need to join late, leave early, step out, just do it. Obviously, you don't need to ask me permission. That would be strange. Don't announce that you're leaving. That would be strange. You can email me to let me know what you missed, or since the class is live recorded, just go back and watch the video. If you're going to miss an exam, there will be exams in this class, then I need some kind of advance notice, or if you miss it without advance notice, then I'll need some kind of documentation for why you missed it. And if you are on Discord and your phone rings or something, just mute yourself. It's pretty straightforward too. All right, so what is this? This is a cybersecurity course, but it's designed for regular network developers. So you guys, most of you are probably not going to be cybersecurity professionals just because that's not what you went to school for. You went to school to be software developers, but almost all of you will, at some point in your career, send data over the internet. You're going to send some kind of remote data. Exams are going to be live. Yeah, exams are going to be live. I don't know exactly what you mean by live, but in the sense that they're going to be on Canvas and you'll have to complete them during class time. Yes, except the final. The final will be probably take home. Yeah, the exams will be through Canvas and you'll have to complete them during class. So all of you are going to write some kind of code that probably communicates over the internet at some point. In fact, I know most of you, at least during the senior design project, are going to need to write some kind of code that talks over the internet. And this class is for teaching you how to do that correctly. So for not sending the user's data as plain text over the internet or exposing your application to vulnerabilities that can ruin the whole network or at the very least ruin your application. So first we're going to do like basically a 3-week crash course of the stuff that you need to know for networks. And the stuff you need to know is a little bit condescending because there are so many different layers of networking knowledge. And some people would say you have to know everything, you have to know it from the ground up, which is a fair opinion. But I would say that most of the time, developers only need to know a very limited amount of stuff pretty near the top of the network development stack. And that's because, generally speaking, you don't even have access to the lower level things. Now, we're going to learn a little bit about the lower level stuff, and if we have time at the end of the semester, we're going to double back and look at some of those things. But generally speaking, in languages that are high level like Java, you can't control any of the low level stuff even if you wanted to. So it's good to be aware of the problems that can happen at those layers, but it's not something that you want to commit a ton of your time to. It's more something that you have to be aware of and say, "Oh, well, my day could be ruined because something lower down in the stack went bad, and this is what it might be. However, I'm powerless to do anything about it. I'm going to phone IT and just do nothing for the rest of the day because I know it's beyond my control." That's essentially all you can do in the lower levels. Okay, and then after we do the crash course in networking, we're going to start some of the basics of cybersecurity. So we're going to learn about firewalls and public-private keys and all these different things that are the essentials of cybersecurity. We're not going to roll our own firewalls. We're not going to really generate our own like public-private key algorithms. We're going to use the ones that are already included. We'll talk a little bit more about why you don't want to roll your own. But this is more of a class for developers who want to use the existing infrastructure. So you want to just use the Java libraries for your public-private keys and that sort of thing. This isn't the kind of theoretical course where you're going to learn how to roll your own, because that's not something that a developer is really going to be interested in. That's not something a developer is generally going to do, especially early in your career, as all of you are going to be. You're not going to go out and immediately start rolling your own crypto. That would be insane. All right, we're going to learn about the common pitfalls of network applications. This is the important thing for developers to know. You write these networked applications, and if you're not trained at all in cybersecurity, it's easy to make a simple mistake that can cost the company big money. So we're going to learn how to not do that. And one of the ways we're going to learn how to not do that is to exploit applications that we've deliberately made vulnerable, or I guess that I've deliberately made you make that are vulnerable. So we're going to make bad applications, and then we're going to break those bad applications, and then we're going to learn from our mistakes how to make them less crappy, how to make them a little bit more robust. Learning outcomes, develop applications, talk over the internet, apply basic cybersecurity standards to make those applications more robust and private, and then recognize when an application has a network security problem and know how to fix it and apply that fix. You can read the program goals at your leisure. Those are in the syllabus. There are a couple books for this course. One of the textbooks is a Java network programming textbook that's fairly old, but that's also because Java 8, which I think is still installed on all your CSVMs, is fairly old. It has a lot of really nice examples. I think they're fairly well documented. They're what I would call minimal. They don't have any extra fluff. They're very well formatted, all that stuff. It's not like the junk that you find on Stack Overflow. You can find all of the examples that are in that book somewhere else, or you can find something that's equivalent to them somewhere else. You can Google and find them on Stack Overflow, but they are just I don't know. They're harder to sift through. They're maybe not as well formatted. They're definitely not organized with a nice table of contents. So if you want some good examples of network code, get that book. I think it's incredibly cheap, like on the order of $20. And there might be some friendly pirates out there. Piracy is wrong. Don't pirate things. And then the other book is a theoretical and philosophical type of book, the Zero Trust Networks book. That mostly tells stories about networking and talks about concepts of networking. This is a difficult philosophical concept for people to grasp, the concept of zero trust, because people are generally very trusting and like to assume the best of each other and like to assume that the things that they rely on have some reliability. You don't generally get into a car and go, this is going to burst into flame and murder me. But if you're a good cybersecurity specialist, you're skeptical of literally everything. If you get into a car, you go, we're still gone. Nah, we're getting something now. I'm gonna check this out and see what we're getting. I think this is my headset mic. Is this guy? Or are we looking at this guy? Are we back? Oh, okay. Alright, looks like I picked this thing up again. Yep. Back? Oh, okay. Alright, looks like I picked this thing up again. The problem was simple. My headset died. The most straightforward of all problems. But that's okay, because I figured out how to bring this microphone back. And that's going to be even better. Oh, now I have both. That's not good. Here we go. I'm going to mute one. You don't need that double audio. Okay. We're back. I'm just going to confirm in chat that we're back before I keep going. What are we looking at? All right, we're back. Cool. All right, let's continue. Sorry about that. I don't know why this thing powers off. I have this teeny weeny little light here that indicates that it's muted, and it's the only LED on it. The most important thing in a good headset is to have mad RGB all over it. See, if I had glowing crap everywhere, I would have been able to see that it went offline. So that was my fault for buying the not RGB model. At least you get the better system audio now. So I did this on purpose. Let's just say that. All right, where are we? Okay, you're going to need some software as well. That software is all listed here. That's going to be Discord. We're going to need Wireshark. That should be pre-installed on your CSVMs. You're going to need Eclipse, obviously. You might need GitHub Eclipse integration at some point. That comes automatically with the newer versions of Eclipse, the GitHub integration. You're not going to need that for a bit, so you can hold off on that for now. And then we're going to need Nmap for Windows at some point. That's just a really simple like install from the internet. And if we get to it in the last couple of weeks, I don't know that we'll have time. You'll need Visual Studio Code so that we can do some stuff in Rust, some cool stuff in Rust. Okay. Actually, this is also a wired headset to the responses in the chat there. I could technically connect the wire, but then I have to reach the wire all the way over there. Come on, I don't want to deal with that. All right, so for the CSVMs, if you don't know what they are, then you're probably good. If you do know what they are, then hopefully you have one. I don't really use them very often. I don't use the CSVMs at John Carroll, so I don't have a lot of tech support knowledge there. I can barely tell if mine is working. So if yours is not working, make sure you contact IT as soon as you can. Doing the course on your own home network, so doing it on your laptop or on your home computer without connecting to the VM is probably not a good idea, because you might not have the right internet configuration to make it work. Especially those inbound connections, you're going to end up playing your own IT. And I would rather let IT play IT, if you know what I mean. So just make sure that all your ports are open and you can do everything. The easiest way to do that is just to use JCU's network, where all the ports are open and you can do everything. And then another thing to think about, if you do want to use your own, if you know how to port forward and all that stuff, even if you know how to port forward, if you have a residential internet connection, so you're not paying for enterprise or business, then you are probably going to have port 80 blocked all the time. You might have other ports blocked all the time, and sometimes they see inbound traffic and just start messing with your internet based on that. So just probably don't try to do it on your home internet connection. Connect to the CSVM, at least to run your code. You can develop your stuff on your own computer, on your own network, test it on your own network, and then when you're ready to finally deploy, do like the final testing, then just move to the CSVM for that part. Most of your grade in this class is going to be homework. Pay attention to those due dates on Canvas. Typically, it's going to be at the start of class, a week after the assignment was first given to you. I'm going to give you an assignment today because I'm a huge jerk. It's going to be a review assignment of 228 stuff, some graphics things. It's more of a benchmark to let me see where everybody's at. It should be super easy. If you're struggling with it, then you're really going to be struggling in this class because it's something that I'm basically taking for granted, that you know how to set up like a quick UI, work with arrays, work with methods, work with objects. Those are all the things I'm taking for granted here. There's a late penalty of 10% a calendar day if you are late. So if you are late the first day, a couple hours, usually I waive it. But, you know, just if you're late like an hour even, I'll knock off 10%. And then the next day, so when midnight rolls over, it's another 10%. The following midnight's another 10%, and so forth. So don't turn in your stuff late. What we got here? I'm talking about the Horizon VM through the digital workspace. That's a question from Discord. Yes, I am talking about that, the Horizon VM platform. But there is a VM platform for the normal students, and they are not allowed to install their own software and things like that. So if you have a CSVM, then you are able to install your own software. You basically have admin on it. So one way to tell would be try to install something. I think if you can change the desktop background and things like that, then you probably also have a CSVM. All of you should have one. It would be a fluke if you didn't have one. So you can kind of assume that you do until you're proven otherwise. All right. If you can't finish your homework assignment for some reason, just email me in advance and I'll give you an extension. No questions asked. I really don't care why. Just tell me you need more time and I'll give you more time. It doesn't matter. But if you don't email me in advance, then I might ask you why. If you do it every week, then eventually I'll say no. If you only do it occasionally, then I have no problem with it. Okay, don't look at your Horizon login. That would be strange. I did ask IT to make sure that we were all good to go in like June, but they are very busy, so who knows? Maybe they made some mistakes. So yeah, I guess check your VM, see if you can install things, see if it looks like a CSVM, and if it doesn't, then email me and I'll forward along all your names and we'll make sure you guys have a CSVM. Assignments are worth nothing after we go over them in class. Obviously, we're probably going to go over assignments in class the following week. We're not going to go over every assignment. Sometimes I'll just upload the solution. The reason I'm not going to necessarily go over every assignment is because a lot of them are just things that you had to research how to do and then basically just copy and paste from their source material. And so it's not particularly valuable for me to go over it and show you, like, this is where I copied this part from the source material, etc. If you all have classroom VMs, I'm going to be so upset. So upset. Homework is only accepted through Canvas. Don't email it to me and don't DM it to me on Discord or whatever, or email it to me, anything like that. Submit it through Canvas. If it's a source code submission, so you're submitting like your Java source or a different, if we get to Rust, the Rust source, just submit me the raw source files. I know some people in the department like jars and things like that. This is a cybersecurity course, so if I allowed you to send jars, I would probably have to resign. I mean, that would just be stupid of me. If I allowed you to send me jars over the internet, I would just have to resign from my cybersecurity position. Just send a nice zip file. Zip's not great either, but at least I know, because I somewhat trust you guys. I have more than zero trust in you guys, that it's just going to be .java source files in there. All right. If I see anything other than .java source files in there, because I'm at home this semester, I'm just not going to open it. So make sure there's only .java source files in there. Once it comes through my sandbox, if I see anything else, I'll just throw it away. I don't have time to open your like .exes and other nastiness. I'll do that at John Carroll because it's their network, but I'm not going to do that on my network. The way to get those source files, if you haven't done it before, in Eclipse, I'll just show you the image. You right click on your project, go show in, go to System Explorer, find your SRC folder and add it to an archive, add it to a zip. I'm surprised if anybody here has it configured correctly. I also don't like to use them. They also give me trouble. It's a shame we have to rely on them. Have a lot of Chat from Discord. I don't know if they appear with a different name. They might end up just being called Classroom VM as well. It might just be the name only. The best way to tell is just to try to install something. So any old application, you can go to 9.8 or something and try to install like a web browser or something. If you can install a web browser, if you can update a web browser, then you probably have a CSVM. Yeah, you should have RStudio. You should have other applications on there for your different classes. You probably have Wireshark on there, and they might have updated your Eclipse, or it might still be that 2018 version from the last time I've asked them. Well, according to their stats, you all use the CSVMs, and they're very important. You pay good money for those things, so make sure you use them. They'll be very handy for this class because then you don't have to use your own internet to host things. Whenever I've had a CSVM, was separate from the classroom one. Okay, not great, not great. So yeah, if you don't have one, post it in Discord. At this point, I'll just send them an email and make sure everybody has one anyway, but double check too. For the, yeah, Horizon is terrible. I agree that the VM software is terrible, accessing it is terrible, and it cuts out all the time, but what are you going to do? I mean, it's our only option at this point. I wish that we had a server you could all connect to and run your code, but I will show you, I think, what the only thing I have for a server. So I don't have any JCU provided server at this point. But I do have this lovely Raspberry Pi, and that's probably going to be our classroom server for this semester. So if you're connecting to the server as we go through the semester here and running your code or talking to the server and wondering why it's so slow, it's because it's running on a computer that's the size of my thumb. All right, so that's why it's slow. Yeah, there's leniency. The first homework doesn't require the VM at all. The first homework you can just do on your own computer. All you need is Eclipse, and Eclipse runs on anything. It runs on a potato. You can install Eclipse on whatever you want. So, well, it doesn't run very well on old computers, I'll grant you, but it's what you're doing for the first assignment. You're not going to need anything intense. And again, you can get an extension with no questions asked. So if there's a problem setting up your Eclipse, just send me a message and I'll give you an extension. For grading the homework, 75% of your grade is always, does it work? So if you submit something that doesn't work at all, then obviously you're not going to do as well. 20% of your grade is efficiency, good design choices, good object-oriented programming, choice of good data structures. I know not everybody here has taken 328. That's not going to be a huge part of your grade. But there are going to be a couple points in this class where you're going to need data structures other than arrays. I'll try to do a quick review of them when we get to that point. Hopefully you'll have already covered them in 328 by then, but if not, I'll try to do a quick rundown. And then the remainder of your grade, as always, is the code easy to read and understand? Is it well documented? Always give that 5% bonus if your code is exceptionally easy to understand and it's got good, robust documentation. There have only been a couple of times where I've gotten an assignment that was super easy to understand and it also had no documentation. So give me some good documentation. That means at least method headers. When I hover over a method, I've got to be able to see what it does. When I hover over its name in Eclipse, I better get some Java doc pop-up telling me how it works and what it does. Same for ambiguous variables and all that kind of thing. I want to see what everything does when I hover over it. I don't want to play scavenger hunt with your code. That's what it means for it to be well documented. There's always going to be some extra credit on various homework assignments, so just see the assignment description. You can get a final homework grade well over 100%. Happens all the time in my different classes. People get over 100%. There are also going to be what I call red-blue team homeworks. Red-blue team is a common expression in the cybersecurity field. Red team is the team that's trying to break the thing, and blue team is the team that's trying to protect the thing or defend the thing. So for this type of homework, you're going to be put into teams. Red team will attempt to make a server do something that blue team doesn't want it to do. Generally, red wins if they can make the server do something, or they can just make the server stop working. And blue wins if the server keeps working, but it doesn't do the thing. That's generally how we're going to do those rules. You're going to get a turn to play on each team. So the first time you might be red, and then you'll switch to blue the next time, or vice versa. You are going to be preparing your solution as homework, so you're going to come up with ideas. You can do this as a group. And then after you've prepared your ideas, we'll do it live. So you'll have probably half an hour or so to try. It's a 50-minute class, so we'll probably split it like 25 minutes each side. And winning a round gets you extra credit. The way it's going to work is that if you win both rounds, you'll get some extra credit. If you win just one round, so let's say you win as red, then lose as blue, then you'll get no extra credit. You'll just get the default credit. And then losing both rounds doesn't carry any penalty as well. So losing both rounds also just gives you the default credit. But if you lose both rounds because your approach was dumb or you simply didn't put a lot of effort into it, then you will probably lose points just because of that. But if you just happen to go against super geniuses both times, it's not going to count against you as long as you did a good job or you put in a good try. You're going to be graded as a team. I'm going to require you to turn in an individual write-up just so you can sort of demonstrate that you actually did something. And then we're going to have another homework assignment. This is super experimental. I don't know if it's going to work out, but I want us all to work on a collaborative, basically open source project. So I'm going to post a project on GitHub. All of you are going to have to make contributions. I'm going to approve them all manually. And if we run out of features to code, I'm just going to add more feature requests because in order to get a good grade on it, you need to earn a certain number of contribution points. You need to contribute a certain amount of material. Every time you submit something, I'll give you some points. You need a certain number of points to finish. So if the project is finished, like all the features that need to be implemented are done, I'll just add more features so the people who still need points can get them. If this is a flop, then it's not going to count against you. I think it's going to work out, but it's possible that we have some people in the class that just go in and like finish the whole thing, and they just don't want to stop, something like that. There's all kinds of things that can go wrong. So if it's a flop, I'm going to make sure it's a flop that doesn't count against anybody. There are going to be some labs that we do together in class. I was trying to think of a way that I could allow you to do the labs as homework if we miss them while still live streaming the lab on YouTube, because it is a lab where I will follow along with you and I'll just give you the answers as we go. I couldn't think of anything, so what I'm going to do is when we have a lab, I'm going to post it in advance, and if you know you're going to miss it, just do it in advance. Otherwise, do it along with me in class. But if you miss class, then I can't give you any credit for it because I'll already have gone over it on YouTube. If we don't finish it on YouTube, then it just becomes homework. So if you need to miss a lab in advance, just finish in advance when I post it to Canvas. And if for some reason you can't complete it, your internet cuts out or whatever, just send me an email and I'll probably just exempt you from it altogether. It just won't count for you or against you, something like that. The tests are going to be a little different than what you usually see. Even in my classes, usually I do like multiple choices or something through Canvas. I'm going to do more practical things for this. So you'll have to demonstrate some skill. For example, just send some piece of information over the internet or crack some password, something like that. They're going to be open, notes, book, and internet. Use whatever you want. Just don't talk to one another. Obviously, if you talk to one another, then at minimum you're going to fail the exam. And if you do need to miss it, again, send me some documentation of emergency if you missed it without warning me in advance. If you're going to miss it in advance, just email me and we'll work something out. The final exam is going to be take home unless we get sent back to campus full on. So if we're full on in person, then check the JCU final exam schedule and it'll be on whatever day they give us. But if we're hybrid, high flex, all online, whatever, then it's going to be take home. No quizzes in this class. The labs kind of take the place of what would normally be the quizzes. You're obviously not graded for attendance. I certainly don't have the energy to enforce that. But some assignments require you to be on Discord. Sometimes you have to talk to your team on Discord. If you miss a lecture, just watch the recording. You don't have to email me. You can just watch the recording. So your attendance is not formally graded, but there are situations where if you keep missing class, it's probably going to count against you. Final grading, mostly homework, 60%, 15% labs and in-class work. Red-blue team assignments are kind of in between there. They'll probably go into homework. Exams are 15%. There's 3 of them, so 5% each, and then a final for 10%. I always weigh the columns in Canvas according to the proportion everything is worth, so the grade you see in Canvas is an accurate representation of what you're earning so far. And the letter grade thresholds are pretty normal. 90 to 93 is an A minus, 94 and up is an A, etc. You voted for generous grading in the Canvas poll. So let me tell you what generous grading means. Typically, when I assign work or when I figure out what I'm going to give you, I make the work harder or easier depending on whether or not I want the median person's grade to go up or down. So I see the whole class is doing badly, I assign easier and easier work until the median improves. And if I see everybody's doing very well, I just assign harder and harder work until the median drops. And so I try to keep it around 85 for the median, and definitely no lower than 75 because I don't want, obviously, more than half of you to be doing badly. This time, I'm going to assign work so that the median falls almost at 90%. It's going to be like in the high 80s. And that means that most people get an A, so like more than half of people probably get an A. Some people get a B, and the people who would have done exceptionally badly are still going to do exceptionally badly. But you really have to be like far below the performance curve to do exceptionally badly this time. All right, see the syllabus for the approximate timing of different topics. The topics can change and move around, but all the exam dates and everything, those are going to stay the same. So you know exactly when all the exams are going to be now. Don't miss them. For this class, you are allowed to copy the internet for your work. You can also copy the book and any of your own older work. If you're copying the internet, I ask that you cite your URL somewhere in the comments, so preferably at the top of the program somewhere. Just cite where you got what you got. You can copy the book and your older work without citing it. Do all your homework alone. Don't work with each other. Obviously, you can share where you got different stuff, and that's okay because you can copy the internet, so sharing a link to where you got it is fine. But copying your classmates, so copying any of the work that they actually do, is cheating. Do your own work, write your own code in your own words, and if there's a group assignment, make sure you attribute credit accurately to whoever did the assignment. Last year's 328 was the first CS class where I didn't catch anybody cheating, so congratulations to everybody who was in last year's 328. Great job to you. You can read the disability and discrimination statements at your leisure. Big picture summary again. Be respectful, get Discord. You obviously have Discord already. Try to make friends on Discord since you can't see each other in person. Ask questions, be diligent, don't fall behind. Do your homework, email me, see me if you're stuck. In this case, see me just means also catch me on Discord. And don't cheat. So any questions on the syllabus there? Any questions on YouTube emojis? All right, we only have 4 minutes, so what can we do? I guess we're going to make this count a little bit in the tiny amount of time that we have left. All right. Here is my streaming sample. Okay, here's what we're going to do. So the first assignment is going to be a review of Java Swing. I want to make sure everybody can make UIs for the assignments later. There will be things like you have to enter an IP address, which is a series of numbers separated by dots. And so I want you to be able to make a text box where somebody can type a series of numbers separated by dots and then click a button that says enter. That would be something that I would expect you to already be able to do. Obviously, that's going to be the bare minimum if you need to enter an IP address. I don't want us to have to do it in like console. I want it to actually be in the program in the GUI. So I'm going to make a class here, and I'm going to show you a couple of the tricks that I haven't taught in the past in Swing because I mostly focus on the fundamentals of programming, and that means we use rectangles and all those sorts of things. But that's really not how you use Swing correctly. You're not supposed to do it with rectangles and ellipses and stuff like that. You're supposed to make a real UI. Let's see if anybody else lost connection to the YouTube. I'll refresh it in my window. So I'm still seeing it. I'm still live. Nate's just got crappy internet. If you have crappy internet, really crappy internet, not just Nate level crappy internet, then contact John Carroll IT, and they can still probably provide you, if they have any in stock, mobile hotspot that you can use to do your class. Oh, and I also forgot to say for the newcomers, which is almost everybody, make sure you hit that quality wheel in the bottom there and change it to 2K. You know, after I put in all this effort to get my display all nice and beautiful, you got to make sure you're watching it in 2K. I think YouTube defaults to 720p or whatever. Boo. I want to see that beautiful 2K resolution. So hit that quality slider in the bottom. Set it to 2K. Okay, so what we're going to learn next time is how to use swing the right way, which is going to be buttons, labels, that sort of thing. Let's just not start today because we only have a minute. The other thing I want to say about Swing is that Swing is finally supposedly getting sunset. It's going to continue to be supported in Java 11. It's probably going to be supported in the version beyond that, and then it's going to go. But it's already on the chopping block to be depreciated. It's going to be Java Effects from there out. Now, they've been trying to replace Swing with Java Effects for a very long time, like years, and it's still not here. So I don't know. Java Effects is probably going to be the way GUIs are done in Java in the future. If you'd like to do all your assignments in Java Effects, I would recommend that. I think it's probably better to learn Java Effects than Swing, which is over 10 years old now and clearly on its way out. But there's a lot less material out there for Java Effects. You are going to have a harder time. You might want to buy a book or something if you're going to switch to Java Effects. So, you know, just something to consider. I'm going to do all the assignments in Swing, but you can do them in FX instead. It's actually very similar, and FX has much nicer layout functionality. It's a lot easier to get things where you want them using the automatic tools. Okay, well, I think that's all the time we have for today. I think this here is a 50-minute class. Let me check that syllabus real quick to see when class is. Look at that, 1 to 150. Now we know. All right, so I'm going to sign off, and I'm going to hang out in Discord for a while if anybody has questions. So someone asked how to set up the VM. You can't. The John Carroll IT is supposed to have issued it to you. All you were supposed to set up is the way to access it, which is through that Horizon platform. I can link that after I end the stream here. That should be on John Carroll's website somewhere, if we can navigate that. If someone else has the link, just put that in Discord. All right, that's going to end the stream for today. I'm going to join some of the Discord voice channels and talk to you guys. So if you want to have a chat, just join the Discord voice channel. And thanks for tuning in. See you guys next time.